Welcome back. We're here. Seriously, what the 40?
Hello.
Okay, so I'm going to apologize for a second because if you guys can't see this on video, then it's going to be a little harder. But I was like, we have to do this. So I had said that I had gotten a gift for Nar, so I'm giving it to her so she can actually open it while we're doing this.
In.
I did.
Think you didn't have to, but what is this?
But as she's opening it,
I love gifts.
this is a fun little gift. So I have a feeling that people are going to want these once they see them.
See what it is. It's in a little baggie.
It is in a little baggie. It's there's no like white powder in it though, guys. There's no white powder. There's no nothing. But I don't know. After the last one, we were talking about me drinking.
Oh, Corey, what is it?
See, you have to see. So you have to look over here because I have it on.
What the fuck?
Isn't that cool?
Yes, and yes, honey. So it's a gold necklace for those who cannot see this, and it says WTF. That just goes with life. I love you. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
I saw it on social media and I saw these.
Stop it.
So my daughter was trying to figure out how to make them. And then I saw it on social media and it was just, it had the little letters and I was like, oh my gosh, can we do this? And it was so funny because at first when I did it, they're like, they confirmed that I wanted like those letters and stuff.
So the crazy thing is I don't have any jewelry that says my children's initials or nothing, but I do have WTF. So that is...
I don't know. You're gonna take that home to your husband, and he's been like, "Honey,
who's WTF?" I'm like, exactly.
They're gonna say we need another one. But we were saying right as we got started.
Thank you so much. By the way, this is really sweet. I love it. Thank you.
When we get into this for a second, we started talking about kind of what we're wearing, and it was just the running joke. So we may move locations, just so you guys know, because we were asking like, why are we in this room? And because the people that film our podcast, they have this really couple cool other studios too, and we were asking about being in this one, and they talked about the table.
We are all about aesthetics here, okay, guys? All about aesthetics. But thank you very much for this awesome necklace. Is this the company? Should we shout them out?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because I'm going to see if they're going to give our listeners a discount or something.
Ooh.
Yes, we're going to work that angle.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
You're welcome. So one of the things we have to talk about with this, why we have a table here, is because when we were talking about this, the people filming our podcast, the lovely Forefront Media, they said, because most people don't want to sit where you can see their midsection on video.
You mean they're fat, basically. Yeah, let's just call it. I didn't even know that. So I didn't know that if you're, I guess, yeah, right? When you sit on the couch or anywhere, you kind of like pull up your pants to like cover your pooch.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everyone's beautiful. It's fine.
I'm just going to say, knock on wood, grateful at 47, I don't have to do that.
Well, yeah, if I was a muscle machine, I wouldn't have to do it either. Jeez.
Goodness gracious.
You got to tell us how to get there, Corey.
Wow. One of the things we were talking about with this is we were talking about like Nar is always in color and I'm always in black. And it was so funny because I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I'm not saying I'm Steve Jobs or the founder of Facebook or anything like that.
Stop.
But both of them, they pick it out. And even Mel Robbins, every time she records, she wears a black t-shirt. It was the same thing. Steve Jobs, he always wore a black shirt and black pants. So when we started this podcast, I specifically chose, I'm going to show up in black every single day that we record. And I'm telling you, because of the stress of life, because, you know, yesterday I was so like stressed because I couldn't get the podcast out and I couldn't get it on the day. And it was my daughter's birthday. And I was like, this morning when I got up and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to wear? Black. I've got 5 options for black and that's it.
So Simon Cowell, you know, the music producer, he's like he's behind American Idol and many other ones, I think like British stuff. So he wears black all the time, a simple black t-shirt, and he's got 50 of them, right? Probably more, because he says, I have so much going on throughout my day that I don't want to think about my outfits. So, but then on the flip side, you have people who want to wear color and like show their style because that's their way of expressing themselves.
Right.
Very different personalities. So you are Steve Jobs in the making. All you need is a turtleneck.
I know, just up to here.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so one of the things I thought would be interesting, because people ask me a lot of times, and, you know, you see it on Instagram Reels and out there on social media, the whole get ready with me. I mean, at first, the first time I saw the GRWM, I'm like, what the heck is that?
Oh, yeah, get ready with me.
I had to ask the teen daughters. But when I was asking about it, you know, I was like, what is that? And so people ask me all the time, what is your current morning routine? And so I thought it would be really interesting because you and I both in our 40s. You know, we both have like wellnesses practices and stuff to do to help women feel better and men. But the key is I'm like, so what does that look like? So tell everybody, what is getting ready in the morning look like with you?
Everyone's going to hate me for saying this because I am very big on skincare. I literally get out of bed, slap on water on my face, and just get coffee going and go. If it wasn't for the podcast, those who really know me, I hardly put on makeup ever, unless I'm glamming out. I love a good glam out session.
Yeah, you guys should look at her Instagram because those photos are pretty gorgeous.
But thank you. But I literally get up, I brush my teeth, and I slap water literally on my face just to like wake me up, and then I'm out. That's it. I can't. I have a 1-year-old and the 2-year-old. I can't, like, there's that in itself is a lot for me. Sometimes I even have a hard time wiping my makeup off at night. I just like, but you should cleanse and exfoliate and, you know, put your serums on. So when I see people online and they're like, oh, get ready with me, I'm like, girl, bye. Stop it. And if you're doing it, good for you, because I can't do it. I can't. I'm barely keeping up.
And it's funny because people say, like, you should share your get ready with me routine. I'm like, okay, so my get ready with me routine is I get up in the morning. I do, so it's funny. We're going to talk about nakedness again. And it's just too funny. But I walk into the bathroom. I take off my pajamas. So I'm not wearing any clothes. And I do dry brushing.
Oh.
But
how long does that take?
It literally takes a minute. That's it. I don't go into like 10 minutes or whatever. It's just, and I have a blog post all about it, but it's just like brushed from the legs, from the ankles to the knees.
That's good for your, is it lymphatic? Is that what it is?
Yeah. But I've had really bad varicose veins my whole life. Like it's hereditary. I've had it. I mean, I had vein stripping surgery when I was in high school because like I had a blown out valve on the back of my leg. So people would be like, what is behind your leg? So I had surgery. So I just do that in the morning. So for the lymphatic, and then I have like a serum that I put on, and it's just because my face feels so dry. And of course, because I am on hormone replacement therapy, you know, the testosterone goes on either on my inner thighs or my arms. How I remember how to do it every single morning now. And then I go out into the kitchen, I always have lemon water with cayenne pepper. I've been having it for the last 8
Corry.
years.
I feel like shit right now. You telling me this.
Yeah,
I
but
feel
you
like
got to remember that my kids are 14 and 17, so they're a lot older. And then I take, well, let's face it, then I have to take estrogen because I've got my estrogen as well. I have to take it orally. If anybody ever has any questions, you can ask me about why I take it orally versus the patch or the cream. And then, you know, there's a bunch of other supplements. Like I have a really good apple cider vinegar supplement that I like to take on an empty stomach. But it's literally like all the pills are in a thing. I dump them out. I take them really quickly. And then I grab the dog and take it for a walk. So that's my morning routine.
You're so good. I literally do none of that. I barely keep up with a vitamin.
But I couldn't have done it when I had kids. Like when I had little kids like yours, there's no way I would have been able to do it.
My girlfriend who works right next to me, shout out to Natalie, she's on point every time. She's a single mom. And she's got a little son, and not little like my little, and how old is he? Maybe 10? I think he's maybe 10. But she comes to work, always fly. Like her outfit is on point, her bag matches her shoes, the shoes match the hair. It's like such a vibe. So if I go to work and she looks at me like, what is happening with your hair? I'm like, okay. That's why half the time my hair is up because I don't have time to do anything with my hair. So shout out to all the girls who actually are on a good regimen. That's why you wear black, because so you can do the other shit because you don't have to worry about your outfits.
Probably. Yep.
Okay.
I'm not worrying about the outfits.
But yes, maybe 2026 should be a goal of mine where every time I tell myself, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock, like an hour and a half before the kids wake up to give me Nar time. No, I can't. It's just, I'm not a morning person. So I can't do it.
When my kids were little, I remember when they would be at work and I would be running around. And when they were little, I was teaching like group fitness classes. And I was in the gym. I was at my nutrition stores. I remember vividly them being at like the daycare person, the person that watched them, and me going and sitting in the back. And for those of you who don't know, some of you guys listening to this actually do know I drove this big giant H2 Hummer that had, you know, Max Muscle on the side because that was the name of our nutrition company. And I remember parking in the parking lot of like, it was like Safeway grocery store and Chipotle. And I remember crawling in the back seat of the car. And I mean, it's a big, huge bench seat.
Sure.
And I remember pulling out a book and just taking a bit. And I remember telling everybody I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And I was like, you know, I'm out. Like, this is it. That was the only way I could find like me time, was literally hiding in. And you think about it, there's no wonder that like guys get that stereotypical go in the bathroom, right? And it takes them an hour to go to the bathroom and they've got their iPad and their phone. And, you know, women kind of, you hear too many women that do stuff like that in their closets. Like they hide in their closet or whatever. And I'm like,
listen,
wow.
you have to. I literally go to the bathroom, right? And instead of just having to just go shower, I just need tops 15 minutes. I just need to shower and calm down. You hear my husband say, okay, Isabella, go. Mommy's taking a shower. You want to take a shower with her? I'm like, God damn it. Can you all just leave me alone for just one fucking second? Let me just get in the shower and feel the hot water dripping down my face. That's all I want to do. Because you know, when you stand in the shower, I literally just stand there and I close my eyes. Oh my God, this is so good. But not when you have two little ones. And then you're not even showered. The other day I showered with Mateo, who's a year and a half. No, he's a year and a month. Just kidding. So he's a year and a month. I'm in the shower with him, trying to prevent him from falling and hitting his head on the glass or the concrete or whatever. I'm like, how is this me? I can't even shave my legs. Because if I shave my legs, then he gets the razor. If I shampoo, you know, like and then you see him like poking at my boobs. He's like, what is that foreign thing coming out of your body? You know, and then like he'll grab his little thing, wiener. It's the funny. I'm like, this is my showering. Or most women will probably, when they relate to this, when they go to number 2, the door is open because they're little toddlers. Like, mommy, 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 mommy.
Well, I've got, I don't know, this might be bad news for you though. My teenage daughter will still, like when I'm in the shower, because I'm trapped, I'm in the shower, I can't go anywhere. So she'll walk in and she sits down on the toilet and says, Mom, I got to ask you this. I got to talk about this. Fabulous. Or Mom, can I talk about this? And I'm sitting there going, can I just take a shower, please?
Can you just leave me alone for 1 second?
And it's interesting because it's funny that you were talking about that. Like in our family with us girls, like there's never been this whole like body shame or whatever. Like I've just been like, if you guys are going to walk in and I'm changing whatever, the girls walk in, they change whatever. Yeah. When I grew up, like that wasn't like a thing. You didn't ever see that, but I've kind of kept it open with my daughters or whatever. So now I'm like, great. So you have no problem walking in when I'm like, shut the door and I'm in there, like, let me change. And the other day I was like, can you just, I think it was last night, can you just let me get out of the shower and put my clothes on? And she said, well, I just need to give you a hug. Before you put your clothes on, can I just come and get... No, I want to put my clothes on. Yeah. And I mean, I am so cute. Grateful. I mean, these are my teens. I was a horrible teenager. I was rotten to my mother. But my girls are just so good. And I love this, this whole thing. And, you know, it's funny because this whole... I switched our YouTube videos over so they're now 18 and up because of the fact of how explicit they went this season. And so nobody can find him, right? So my daughter was like, you don't want to listen. And my mom said to me last night, I was walking the dog, and she goes, where's your podcast? I really want to listen to your podcast. I said, I am never sending you the link. And she's like, why? Why can't I listen to it? I don't think it's that bad. Oh, there's other things that I don't know. She would just, I don't know. I think she was about ready to die when I told her the whole vibrator story. And she was like... But then she kept asking question after question after question. And I'm sitting there going, do I send my mom a vibrator for Christmas or something?
My goodness, I would die. I would die.
Okay, so I got to give you guys a back update. Just because I figure if I keep, I don't know, I'll be able to go back and listen to this. I don't know if I told you, like Christmas Eve, I went in and saw the doctor and I was like, we're still having pain, like stuff is still going on. And
no,
so I said
anything.
So I went in on Christmas Eve and I said, the hip pain is still really bad. Like I'm just sick of this. I said, there's something more. We're not figuring it out. I need to figure it out. So if you haven't listened to all the episodes, you know, osteoporosis, herniated disc back in 2024, that was probably from 10 years prior, 20 years prior from that I hurt being a professional in the world of bodybuilding. But I was like, it still really, really hurts on Christmas Eve. So they said, let's do a nerve test. Oh my gosh, if you ever have to take a nerve test, fucking hurts.
Really?
It's basically like they stick electrodes on you and they shoot electricity down your nerves to make sure that they're firing right. And he's like, okay, feel this. Okay, feel this. Okay, feel this. And I was like, fuck, that hurts. And he goes,
Does it hurt for every like shock, I guess?
yes.
Or
and he's like, that's as bad as it's going to get. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to handle that. That was like starting up here. And then when he got like down to the ankles, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this hurts so bad. But then he got done and he's like, the last time you had your MRI was in like 2024, right? And he's like, and I only see like a front x-ray of your back and your hips. Like I don't see like an oblique side x-ray or whatever. And I said, yeah. I said, we just keep been going on it. And he goes, I don't mean to scare you. He's like, but I think you might actually have a fracture in your spine. He's like, I really think you should get some more imaging, whatever. So, and he's like, I go, well, you can't order it. And he's like, no. So the next day I decided, he's like, you need your primary care specialist here at the orthopedics office to do it. And so I was like, okay. And so I went up front and they had an appointment the next day. I came back and we go in and they're like, okay, based on the findings of, I don't know what this doctor wrote, but they're like, okay, we're going to do these x-rays for you. And I said, okay. Remember, my background is in sports medicine. So the first thing you shouldn't do is give me an x-ray and then walk back up and put up the x-rays and then walk away for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the x-rays and I'm like, my back is broken. I'm like, my vertebrae right there is broken. I'm like, it's literally broken. So like you have your vertebrae and you have the spinous process that comes out. There's a huge gap right here between the bones and they're separated. I'm like, my back is literally broken. And then I'm looking at the spine that has this curve and you see it. And, you know, if you're listening, you won't be able to see this, but they're supposed to be like, the spine is just supposed to come together.
S-shape, yeah.
It's like separated like this. So like my L5 is like shifted. And so there's like this whole dysregulation in the spine. And I'm like, that is why I'm in so much pain. And so the physician's assistant comes back in and she's like, so I've got some good news and I've got some really like bad news and everything. And she's like, your spine is fractured. Like there is a break in your vertebrae right here. And she goes, and this was the part that shocked me. She goes, we actually see this in a lot of women over 40. I'm like, what?
Really?
Like, that's what you see in women over 40? But the spine, like my L4 and L5, so normally you have, you know, the vertebrae, and you have this disc space. Well, this disc space is completely compressed.
Yeah.
And so the disc isn't gone, but the disc is shifted. And so they said, with the disc being shifted, every time you move a specific way, that disc touches the nerves that come out of there right where that break is.
Right.
And it sends like electrical. She was basically explaining it. And of course, I did a lot more research on it. It's like this electrical chemical bath that goes down my nerves. And so it's super, super, super painful. So this is why it flares up. And so she's like, basically what we need to do is we need to get an MRI. We need to see what this looks like. And so I was like, okay, so like what now?
Yeah.
And it's basically, you know, everything I can keep doing as long as it's pain-free and all this kind of stuff. But they said what they're probably going to do now is they need to do an epidural in that space. So basically they're going to go in right in that. And they said, we got to figure out what it is. So it might be, it's basically a nerve block. And they're going to put it in like a couple of the facet joints of the spine.
How long is that going to last for?
So basically what they're doing is they're doing that to find out where the pain is. And so when they get that space and they know that there's no more pain, then they're most likely going to have to go into do an ablation. So basically they kind of cauterize where those nerves are to get that pain to go away. Mainly the whole thing they said is a lot of times these fractures can heal. But again, I have osteoporosis, so
good luck.
But nothing's going to heal without reducing the inflammation and the pain. Because if the pain is constantly there,
that's
everything's...
hard.
So I'm just sitting there going, well, great. So I just figured I needed to share this with people because I'm going to keep sharing it so that people can know. Because I think women going through perimenopause and menopause, you hear this, you may have osteoporosis. Oh, you may break your spine. But I think it's too much of, basically all they wanted to do is they wanted to put me on drugs just to reduce, you know, the deteriorating of my spine. And I'm like, but there's more here. It's not just that.
And that's the thing. When you do all the medications, just the Band-Aid.
Right.
You're just doing the Band-Aid, right? But it's good that they were able to find something for you to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. So we'll see. I have an appointment on Monday with the spine doctor. He's really, really good. And he so far has been what has helped the pain reduce. So I'm hopeful that we figure something out, but it's crazy. So another one of those like falling apart 40 moments. It's just like,
as if it couldn't get any worse.
I know.
Add that onto the list.
Yeah. Okay. So topic that I wanted to ask you. So this is something that's huge with perimenopause.
Okay.
Is that kind of everything grates on your nerves. And I think you probably experienced it just getting into your 40s. But for me, love my husband to death, but there's things that like I don't remember in my 30s bug the shit out of me and drive me batshit crazy now. Like when I go to sleep at night, I mean, we have this big giant king size bed and there's a wall of pillows between the two of us because that man gets into bed every night and he turns on his phone and the light is so freaking bright it lights up the whole freaking room or hits its iPad and I can't fall asleep and he doesn't care. I'm like, studies show it. He's like, I'm not listening to any of that. This is how I fall asleep. I have trouble sleeping. This is how I'm going to sleep. But it drives me crazy because I feel like I roll over and I'm facing the other side and there's this pillar wall, but I feel like it's just like light.
You're about
And
to
I'm
have
like, there's all these studies that show that even if your eyes are closed and it's on the back of you, like you can feel this light. But so that drives me crazy. And then I don't know what it is about him and my kids. It's like the swallowing. Like it's like gulp, gulp, gulp. And I'm like, why is it so loud? But I think it's like happened because my hormones changed. I think that was literally seriously. And so I was like, okay, is this happening just because my hormones? Does that happen to other women that are 40? Are you still calm and collected?
I am not calm and collected. But then I do things that bother him too. So I can't even blame it on the hormones. I just think, here's my thing. If, for example, if the babies are asleep and he walks down the stairs, we have wooden stairs, and his flip-flops sound like they weigh, if that's even a thing, like 70 pounds each. So when he comes down the stairs, it's like, dong, 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 dong. I'm like, dude, can we just like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. We're done watching TV. We want to go to bed. And it's like, cluck, 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 cluck down the stairs. I'm like, can we just take it easy with the stairs? Like, it's not a thing. So I don't know. I have a lot of things that really piss me off and get on my nerves. But I don't know if it's because I'm overstimulated throughout the day. So by the time it comes for me to like just wind down, I'm so on edge with everything, or if it's the hormones. I don't even think it's the hormones. I don't think I don't blame anything on the hormones, especially if he blames it on the hormones. If he, you know what he says to me? He's like, are you on your period? I'm like, no, maybe. Why? He's like, I see it in your eyes. I'm like, what do you mean you see it? What is that to say? He's like, no, I think I see it in your eyes. I think I know when you're about to get it. I'm like, what is it? The devil's coming out of me? Like, I don't understand. So yeah, I don't know if it's hormonal, honestly, or if it's just freaking annoying. Everyone is annoying.
Well, it's funny. My husband has on his phone. So it's a rotating picture there's like a picture of like this sweet, happy penguin. I don't know why the fuck is there a penguin is my picture. But then it fluctuates between this devil woman that literally her hair is on fire. She's got beady red eyes. And I'm like, is that what you think of me? But I think this is really interesting because this switches right into something that I was mentioning when I was going through. So I'm, of course, done with perimenopause. So I'm on the other side. I'm fully in menopause now. But when I was like going through perimenopause, it was like when I was in the crux of it, like it was just the shitstorm of the fire is right when my daughters like started having their periods. And so it was like, nowadays my husband is like, well, are they on their period or that? I was like, I don't know. Typically in households, when you have moms and daughters, everybody is like synced up on the same cycle. I said, but I don't have that anymore because when they were starting, I was bleeding through the jumbo tampon in like a matter of a half an hour. I remember going somewhere with my girls and going, Mom, you have like blood all over the back of your legs. Like that was the perimenopause kind of. God. But then as I was moving into it, it was like I had these psychotic fits of rage. It wasn't like, you hear all the typical perimenopause symptoms that people talk about hot flashes, but then there's like the anxiety and the depression. But for me, it was like rage. Like I'm driving my car down, I'm going to run somebody over. But then all of a sudden my kids were in it. And I'm like, what kind of hell is this? And I think it's because like I had my kids in my 30s and I was talking to a lot of moms that like their kids who were born in their 30s, their kids are hitting their teens right in these really challenging years of 40s. And even when I look back, like my mom went through menopause and perimenopause early and she had me when she was 21. So I remember like when I was a teenager, when I was like 18 or whatever, again, like I say, like my mom never listens to this. I'm sorry. I was a hardcore bitch to you, but I'd be like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you keep going to the bathroom? Like, what is going on? And I was just so like bitchy teenager, hormones, all that kind of stuff. And now that I look back at it, this is what my mom was going through. it was like you go to church and you're sitting there and you stand up and, oh my gosh, you've like bled through everything. And like, what are you going to do?
Hard.
But it's just, I don't know. And my poor husband, like, I don't know how he navigated through that with the teens.
You know, I think, interestingly enough, I feel like prior to having babies and the whole pregnancy thing, I was more raging through as I was about to start my menstrual cycle, where I'm about to run you over, get out of my way, that kind of thing. But then after babies, I feel like I've calmed down a lot more. And I don't know if it's because I have babies in the car or just everyone's psycho on the roads. So I'm a little bit more cognizant of like how I'm driving or what I'm doing. But I'm more emotional. So pre-babies, I was more raging and like I didn't give a fuck about anything. Versus now, I'm a lot calmer, but more emotional. Like a commercial will make me cry.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's...
I'm going to make a tie here just so that people can understand this, which is really, I think, interesting, is based on kind of like me, nutrition-wise, what I do with my diet, the way I eat. You never took a GLP or anything before having babies, like in your 30s or whatever.
It wasn't even a thing.
Again, what people don't understand is, okay, whether it's nutrition and what you're eating or a GLP or whatever, again, remember, that all goes back to insulin. Mm-hmm. What I tell women all the time is insulin is directly tied into those sex hormones, so your estrogen and your progesterone. So if your insulin is wacko, which is, I mean, think about like, prior to babies or whatever, what the hell we're eating. Like if you think about teens, they're eating crap. So it's definitely negatively impacting their insulin. And that insulin there can make changes with estrogen, because when women hit perimenopause and they see a slight dip in their progesterone and their estrogen is dominant estrogen only because their progesterone is dropped, they immediately become insulin resistant. And so it's just this interesting tie that I find that now, if you look about on the flip side, you think about some of the things that we've done to get healthier, to, reach our goals and stuff. I just think it's just neat. I am always talking about how neat hormones are. Me and hormones. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to ask too is one of the things we want to talk about is young moms versus older moms energy, because I know this was something about you, because I know a lot of our listeners too are in their young 40s, and this is when they are having kids. Share a little bit about that and kind of your perspective.
And when I think back about my late 20s, early 30s, even mid 30s, I was nowhere near of like having a family, getting married or nothing. I had this notion of, I still want to kick butt in my career. I want to travel the world. I want to spoil myself with money and reap the benefits of having this certain lifestyle and because I worked my butt off for it. So being a mom was not even in the picture until I got married of course, I got married late in the typical world or whatever, where I'm like, okay, are we trying for babies? Are we not? Okay. So then we started with Isabella, and who I think pretty much everyone knows that I had a hard time with her. And then now with Mateo. But I think the energy of back then, what I had energy wise and what I have now is very, very different. Mm-hmm. And I would have never even imagined myself as a mom. Like literally, I look at my friends who are in their 30s, and one of them I was just hanging out with yesterday. She's, I think in her early 30s, and she's to number 3. She has the third one coming. And I'm like, how? Like I don't know, maybe I just grew up late. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, you had babies early too, no?
Mine were in the 30s. So I think it's like...
Or you got married early.
I got married really early.
Yeah. So I'm like the old mom, basically. Yeah. So when we go to school, right? And then I feel like everyone at preschool is pretty much my age, which is weird because it's a shift in our society of having kids at a later age. Mm-hmm. Just talking about career, are we settled? Are we not? Like, there's no way. And part of me, Corry, was I didn't want to have kids earlier because I wanted to give that child a good life. I didn't want to just be on, whether it was on food stamps and there's nothing wrong with it. If by all means you do what you need to do, but that's not the life I want. I could barely wipe my own ass, let alone another kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was different for me.
Well, and I know for me, I mean, yeah, I got married at 21, but for me, because of the fact that I was a professional athlete in a sport that was all about the way you look. I mean, bodybuilding is all about the way you look.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they talk about judging, and it was really interesting because I got to be a guest judge once. It was for like the Firefighters Association or whatever. So it was all these firefighters, police officers, but they were competing in a bodybuilding show. And so I got to actually be one of the guest judges. And they were explaining it. They're like, basically, if you look at these people, because you're looking at these people and they're like gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
They're bodybuilders. You're actually comparing, okay, when they turn around and you're looking at their backs, or let's put this for butts. We're talking to women. Let's talk about butts for a second. They turn around, right? And you're looking at, oh, her butt is a little too flat. Her butt, there's like a little dimpling over here. This one, her hamstrings are a little too soft. Okay, this one, okay, it's a great bubble butt. It's got a great tie into the glutes. That's the one that wins. So it's like these insane little details, right? Because you're looking at practically perfect bodies, but you have to figure out like, how am I going to pull them apart to do this? And so coming from a sport like that, you know, I was talking to my husband, and then in like 2004 and 2005, that was really when I was in that national circuit. And then I got my pro card, and I said, and I remember us saying, I want to do everything. Like, I want to do everything I can within this sport before we have kids. Because, you know, back then, and I mean, all you have to do is look at the pictures, but I had like the perfect six-pack abs. Like, they were incredibly gorgeous. And it's so fun because I see them like forming in my kids. It's like, oh, look, those are those, like, that is totally genetic, came from somewhere. But, you know, I didn't want to do any of like that. I didn't want to waste any of that. And I thought to myself, I don't ever want to feel like it's your kid's fault that they destroyed my physique, like, kind of thing. Like, I didn't want it to be because of the fact of doing bodybuilding, right? And say, well, and I don't know, maybe I knew I was going to have C-sections psychologically or whatever. I mean, when I had C-sections, they literally have to cut right through those abs, right? So it changes the structure of all of that. But I never wanted it to be that I didn't get to do that. And so when I finally got to do Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding show that's like invite only and everything, and then I did a couple other pro shows, I remember telling my husband, okay, now I'm good. Now I'm good. And, you know,
how we can ruin the body.
Then I was like, well, I was like, now if I never get back those abs, it's not a big deal because that's not my shift and my focus right now. I want to shift and focus into being a mom and what I'm going to do. And, you know, and in my 40s, I went back and I still did a show. Like, I was 38 and I had 2 kids and I'd had the 2 C-sections, but it was that bucket list that I wanted to do. And so I did it.
Yeah.
Did my abs look different? Yes. Did I look as lean and ripped as I did earlier? No, but it was still like they were there and I still got to do all that and it was great. But it's just interesting how you look at different things.
Who was I talking? I was talking to someone about this. We were talking about how you're just trying to lose the weight. When we were younger, we were trying to be fit and toned and have the abs and have the perky butt and the toned arms. And then as we got older and our body composition changed, we said, okay, we just want to be skinny. We want to be skinny and not have to wear Spanx anymore. The toning and the abs and the ass will come at a later time whenever we have time. But let me just get my mojo back. Let me get my confidence back. So when I look in the mirror, I'm not like this flubber of fat and like hanging off my jeans. If I can just tone down as far as like size-wise, if I can just slim it down just a little bit, that's all I care about. I don't care if I've lost muscle mass with the GLP-1s at this point. Now, personally speaking, now that I've lost the 35 pounds in a healthy way, now I'm at a state where I'm like, okay, I can focus and shift my focus on building my muscle because I'm happy with my weight. I'm happy with my physique. But it's crazy how when I'm in my 20s and 30s, I'm like, I want to be ripped. I want to be toned. I want to do this and that. Mind you, when I go to Pilates, I'm like, hell yeah, I love the formation that I'm seeing like these little muscles pop out and whatever. And then when you do lose the weight too, it actually shows, right? Because you don't have all the fat covering your muscles. So your muscles are peeping. They're like just, hey, we're here. So it motivates you to do better. But I feel like at my age, I'm just trying to be skinny, honey. Like, I'm not trying to like tone up. I just need to fit into my clothes and feel sexy again. And then, but it is a good thing to get back into the toning.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And when I go and, you know, we put on our bodybuilding shows and I stand around the bodybuilders, I'm very cognizant of what I wear when I'm standing next to them, just because, I mean, okay, they wear all that tan and they do all that stuff. So I'm going to look super pale and I am going to look fat no matter what I do, because I'm standing next to people, these women that have 10% body fat and these men that have 2% body fat.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
nuts.
that. But, you know, I was realizing it this morning as I'm working out so that nothing else fucking breaks on my body at this point. You know, yes, I would love to have my toned legs back and my glutes and my abs and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I just need nothing more to fucking break. I need to keep going. And I'm like, I want to. My mom asked me the other day, like, what is something that like I just really love? Like she likes her jewelry and, you know, she likes her calm. Like she likes to go out and sit outside with her dog and just be calm. And she's like, what is it that like, what's something like that for you? And I was like, she gave me a hard time. She's like, really, you got to walk again. Really, you're going to walk again, when I was out there watching her and go to the gym. And I said, you don't understand. I said, that is like your thing. But the walking for me, there is just, I think it's almost, it was interesting. Somebody said it's almost like meditation and movement is for me walking. Because one of my clients yesterday told me, she's like, I've been listening to the podcast and all this other stuff. And I'd put something in there about some wellness and mindset stuff. She goes, oh, Corry, I'm not a mindset person. I don't do any of that. And I said, well, that's right. That's why I have my business partner, Stacia. Yeah. Because I don't do, anytime you tell me, let's meditate, I'm like, oh, fucking please don't make me do that.
I don't have time.
But my walking is that for me. And so now, you know, when there's been moments in this whole journey with my back where I can't walk, I'm like, I'm going to do every damn thing I can. And so my whole mission now, especially in 2026, is I'm going to fix me so that other women can keep doing this. So I totally get it when you're saying, at this moment, I just want to be skinny. Yeah. I just want to be healthy.
And everyone has their thing. Like, for example, you were saying just now that I'm walking, I'm doing that. Like, everyone for 2026 has something that they want to get to, like their goals, right? So if it is you toning up, cool. If it's you just being skinny or having a daytime skin regimen, like something, you know, when we were earlier, when we were talking about skincare and what's your go-to, I look at you and I'm like, hot damn, I feel like I need to start doing something, but I'm just, at this point, I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Right. So having these little goals of, okay, let me just start with skin. Let me take vitamins for fuck's sake. Like I literally have vitamins on top of my coffee machine for me to take the darn vitamin, and I stare at it and I walk away. I don't take it. I hate it.
So what you need to do is you need to put that vitamin right where the coffee pours out. So you have to physically move it out of the way to put that coffee cup in there.
And then have me like undo the cap. Yeah.
Maybe we need to fix your vitamins. Maybe you need some different vitamins.
I just have a horrible gag reflex.
Oh, honey, we need to talk about gummy vitamins. But before we keep going,
need maybe like a dropper. Maybe I need to change my vitamins.
One thing I was going to share is I thought this was so appropriate. So I want to end with this quote that I found. I was listening to Mel Robbins. Obviously, you guys know I love Mel Robbins' podcast. And she said this was so appropriate for us. And it was all talking about kindness. And it was reminders for this year. And she said, and so this is what I want to say to all the women over 40 listening to this, is that you can be kind, but you can also tell people to fuck off.
Yeah, yes. Amen to that.
Yep.